Hello everyone and welcome to another Football Manager 2015 experiment. And today, as you can see before you, I have the FIFA World 11 2014, which of course was announced the other night. And what I've done is I created the team on the editor. Not done a huge amount of details in terms of the team's finances and various things like that, but I've put the 11 best players, or the 11 players that were selected in the team of the year, into a squad, into a new team that I've created on the editor. I've removed QPR, so sorry QPR fans, but you're the team that went up in the playoffs last year, so I decided to remove you from the Premier League and replace them with this team. So just a couple more details. I've selected Joachim Low as the manager as well, but that's literally all I've done. Finances wise, I have given them some sort of sugar daddy, so perhaps in the future we'll see some other players coming in. But I also given them a transfer embargo until January, so they won't be able to sign any new players until January. So it'll be interesting to see how this 11 do with these sort of fake players like Troy Greenwood and Corey Olapadi. See how they do up to that point in the Premier League, because obviously injuries could cause them huge problems. But this video really is just a starter, because what your task for this episode, whilst I'm holidaying through the series, for those of you that haven't watched an FM experiment before, I make changes on the editor and holiday through a few series to see what those changes have. See if those changes have an impact on the game and see what happens basically. But what I want you to do is select your best 11 players and put them in the comment section below, plus 7 substitutes, so it'd be a bit of a bigger squad to play with. Now there's a few different options. You can either select what your FIFA World 11 2014 is, like your chosen 11 plus 7 substitutes, or you can choose the best 11 plus substitutes right now at this moment in time. Alternatively, you can select what you believe is the best 11 players and 7 substitutes on Football Manager 2015. So some players from this list may not actually get into the best 11 on FM15. Or you can there's another option. You can select 11 players plus 7 substitutes of perhaps the best wonder kids or the best players you believe develop into the best players on FM15. And I'm going to do a few different videos with your chosen 18 players, create them on the editor, I'll do one video, so one team per video, and then holiday through and see how that team does, because this could completely flop. They may get relegated simply because they get really bad injuries. So this is just a bit of a taster to see what happens out of curiosity with these 11. Like, what formation will Joachim Low choose? Will he play Lahm at left back and Ramos at right back? Because there's not really two natural fullbacks there. There's only one with Philipp Lahm, and he doesn't always play fullback nowadays anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what formation they choose, what he chooses, and when I holiday through. So in the comment section below, please do that. I hope you do. I hope you think that's a good idea. Select your 18 best players in the world, or on Football Manager, or perhaps your 18 best wonder kids on FM15. Put them in the comment section below. The ones that sort of get a few likes on, and perhaps ones that I like the look of, I will do some videos on. Do some more FM15 experiments on those teams. So I hope you like that idea. But we'll get cracking with this episode. I'm going to holiday through to the end of the first season to see how this team does. Will they completely destroy everyone because they keep a solid 11, or will they struggle? Let's find out. So at the end of the first season, they won the league, 6 points ahead of Chelsea. Liverpool and Arsenal also get in Champions League places, as did Tottenham for some reason. Oh, they won the Europa League. There you go. So look, 8 teams in England getting into Europe this season. Anyway, let's have a look at the team. Did they make any signings? That's well, they have by the looks of it. So they've developed the squad. Ian Sharp as the substitute keeper. Oh, he's only 16. So there's a few unknown players there. Damien Simmons, a few there. But let's look at just the stats of the team. Goals-wise, Ronaldo scored 27 ahead of Messi with 24. That's interesting in itself. Another interesting thing will be to look at the teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid, how they've coped without these players, because I've literally just moved them from those teams into this team, so they may struggle with themselves. Average rating wise, Messi was ahead, and Iniesta was second. Ronaldo was down in fourth, in fact. So, and appearances wise, Neuer, Laum, Kroos and Neuer played 50 games, which I'm guessing is every single game. We'll have a quick look at fixtures just to see how they did overall and what sort of performances they pulled off against teams. They won, I mean, pretty much every game apart from a draw against Leicester, up until a 3-1 defeat against Liverpool. I'm not sure what stadium I gave them. I think I left it blank but allowed them to have a big attendance, so it should have created a big stadium for them. They've got no facilities. I'm not actually sure where they're playing, which could be a problem. I didn't create a stadium for them. So let's go to fixtures. Maybe they're having to play every game away from home. So at home, it's an unknown stadium. They're getting 867 people turning up to see the likes of Ronaldo and Messi, which is quite funny. 495 saw them play Swansea. Let's look at a big game and see what their biggest attendance was. So Chelsea at home, they lost 3-0. 910 people turned up. Oh dear. So how did they do in the cups? Let's have a look. They lost in the Capital One Cup semi-final against Liverpool. They don't seem to do too well against Liverpool, do they? FA Cup, they're still going. They beat Sunderland in the quarter-final. Beat Man City in the semi-final in extra time. And the final, they lost 2-1 against Arsenal. Cazorla and Giroud scoring, Sergio Ramos for the FIFA World 11. So, yeah, they did well in the league, but cups they didn't quite manage to get a hold of in the end. So what's really going to be interesting is Champions League next year. How will they cope? So appearances-wise, Kroos played every game, so did Laum in the league. Goals, we had Lionel Messi, 20 goals. He got less goals than Ronaldo overall, of course, but second top scorer in the league. He's also got the highest rating. Assists-wise, Iniesta with 12. And let's have a look at the formation, actually. What did they play? So I've clicked on tactics, and it looks like they've played a 4-4-1-1 formation with Iniesta behind Messi, which is very interesting, actually. Di Maria and Kroos in central midfield, Robin and Ronaldo just as, wide midfielders. Playing this guy Stacey at fullback at the moment. 16-year-olds playing for them. Let's see if they did actually make any signings, because I'm not sure they did. Transfer history, no signings whatsoever. The transfer embargo meant that they didn't sign anyone, but these unknown players have actually become real players now, which is nice. Should we see if they've got an under-21 squad? They've got unknown players, so they should. I'd have thought they'd have had regions eventually, but maybe I really should probably develop the actual team itself. So rather than just sort of putting the players in and giving them a bit of money, I don't know if they may struggle in the future simply because they don't have a developed team. Also, these players may actually move on. So I'm going to holiday to the end of the second season and see what's happened, see how they do in the Champions League, and see if everything, the mechanics of the team is working or not. So this season they struggled and finished in 5th, and Brendan Rodgers is the manager now, which is quite amusing. The captain is Ronaldo and David Luiz. I think you may have seen that in the last update. I'm going to show you sort of Barcelona and Real Madrid in this section of the video in a minute, just to see how they've coped without their star players, because the majority of players of course come from Barcelona, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. This is the team now. So at the end of the second season they finished down in 5th, unfortunately outside a Champions League place. Man City won the league, so that's a bit disappointing. Chelsea down in 6th as well, which is a bit of a surprise. Unusual for that to happen. Lionel Messi top average rating, then it was Iniesta and Lahm. Goal scorers, Messi got 24 along with Abu Bakr. Most assists, no one in that. Most man of the matches was Lionel Messi. So let's have a look at things like transfers quickly. They still haven't signed anyone. I'm pretty sure I turned off the transfer embargo, but maybe it's not working. Maybe they just don't want to sign anyone or can't sign anyone. We'll have a look at the finances. Oh, we can't see finances, can we? But their finances are okay. They've got a worldwide reputation. So, oh, they've got a stadium now. Oh yeah, I placed them in Scunthorpe, by the way. This is their stadium. So they've got a 110,000 seater stadium built in 2016. Well, there you go. That's pretty mental. Let's have a look at some of their fixtures and see what sort of attendances they were getting. So the first home game of the season was against Chelsea. They lost 3-0 again. Oh, is this the wrong... No, this is this season. So 1,008 people turned up. Oh wait, the stadium hadn't actually come into play by then. Let's go down further. When did they actually start using this stadium? Or maybe they haven't yet. Maybe it's for the start of the next season. I think it's for the start of the next season, actually. So, yeah. Cups-wise, they lost in the quarterfinals against Arsenal. They lost in the Champions League first knockout round. Let's have a look at their group. Dortmund won it. Oh, Liverpool won it last year. What's going on there? So much going. It's so interesting, this, because there's just so much detail. I can't go into every millimetre of detail in these videos because it would take forever and you'd fall asleep. But they won their group quite comfortably. They had Benfica, Schalke and Olympiacos, and they won 5 and drew 1. Capital One Cup, let's see how they did. They lost against Crystal Palace in the 4th round. So they haven't won any cups yet. They've won the league, of course, first season, but second season not so good. Maybe because of Brendan Rodgers, I don't know. I don't know where Joachim Löw's gone. Let's see. There he is. Let's have a look. His manager, he's gone back to Germany, so he got fed up with the FIFA 11 and has gone back to Germany for some reason. Well, don't blame him, to be honest. Okay, let's look at Barcelona and Real Madrid. So, I don't know why Andres Iniesta's still the vice-captain when he's actually in the FIFA World 11. Don't really know what's going on there. But, he's not in the team, that's for sure. So, this is their team. Got Wellington Nem. Just noticed that. So they actually won the league still without Messi and Iniesta, by the looks of it. And Real Madrid finished 3rd, but let's have a look at the previous season. Yeah, the Atletico probably predictably won that, then Real Madrid and Barcelona. But this season they have recovered. Let's see, Real Madrid, who have they got in their team? Nigel de Jong's in there. Rondon up front as well. And we'll also have a look at Bayern Munich. Once again, Philipp Lahm is captain, even though he doesn't play for the team, which is a bit strange. They did actually win Bundesliga this year, but in the previous season, I just had a quick look beforehand. They finished 2nd behind Dortmund. If we just go back, there we go. So I'm going to holiday 3 or 4 more seasons just to see what happens to the game, what happens to this team in the future. The aim of this episode wasn't really to holiday many seasons, see what happens. It was really to see how they would do in the first season, and we saw that they won the league. But in future episodes, when I use your teams, I'm willing to holiday further on. So I'm going to make sure the team has enough money to be able to afford the wages of big players. So it's going to be a big team. I'm going to probably develop it a bit better just to make sure that when I holiday into the future, nothing dodgy goes on, because it could go dodgy from now on. If they don't sign any more players, of course, then they're a bit screwed. So we'll have to see what happens. So as of 17th of June 2020, they have dropped down to the Championship and have Nigel Pearson in charge. Troy Deeney's their captain and Jason Pearce is their vice-captain. So it's gone pretty disastrously wrong for them in the last couple of seasons. In fact, they didn't even get promoted this season. They lost in the playoff semi-final. So yeah, it's all gone quite wrong. But I don't know if that's because they didn't sign anyone or what. They have signed players, so it's not like they weren't able to sign anyone. But they didn't sign anyone for the first 3 seasons. They sold 3 players. I mean, Ramos and Robben left on frees. They sold Chris Day for 650k. That's a big loss to the team. And then they'd actually started to sign a couple of players when they dropped down. Jordan Spence coming into the team. Yannick Sagabo, 450k. They sold David Luiz to Arsenal for 3.9 million. Messi went on a free. All the players went on frees, so their contracts must have ended. And then it went horribly wrong for them. So, yeah. Where's Cristiano Ronaldo now? He's at Man United. He's back at Man United on 250k a week. Iniesta's retired. Thiago Silva is an assistant manager. So Lionel Messi went to Man City, and he's still there. 375k a week. He's 32 now. That was a big loss as well. Liam Glass. And David Luiz is at Arsenal, 100k a week. Then the following season, they lost Neuer on a free, Di Maria on a free, Jordan Spence went out on loan, and yeah, Neuer's at Reading. Oh, interesting. 99 caps for Germany. Where are Reading then? They're in the Premiership. They are mid-table. Let's have a look at the Premiership then. Let's see what happened. So, first season, of course, they won it. Second season, they finished 5th. Season after that, they finished 5th again. Liverpool won the league. Then Man City won the league, and they finished in 18th place. Everything went horribly wrong for them that season. Then, after that, they obviously in the Championship, so Man City won it, and then Man United won it. Let's go drop down a division and see what happened in the Championship. So, in their first season, they almost got relegated. They finished 21st, 1 point above Bournemouth, and then finished 5th this season. So let's have a look at the squad. They've still got Toni Kroos. He's got 106 caps for Germany now and 16 goals. He's 30 years old and he's still playing for the FIFA World 11 in the Championship. His contract, he's on 145k a week. His contract expires in, well, this summer in fact. So to be honest, he's probably not, he's going back to Bayern Munich. And that's the last love affair. So, yeah, there's no other players, is there? I don't know why it lasted so long. Yeah, so this season top scorer was Troy Deeney for them. And then it was Luke James. Average rating wise, Toni Kroos was top, as you'd probably expect. Still playing every single game possible. So there we go, guys. That's pretty much the end of this episode. In the end, the players did leave. They went to big teams, and it sort of went wrong for them. So please let me know your best 18 players, either your version of the World 11, your version of what are the best players right now as of today, also best Football Manager players and best Wonder Kids, and I will do some videos on them and see what happens to the team. Possibly I could play with a team like this as well and see how I do it. It would be a bit boring though, because it would be too easy, wouldn't it? It would be too easy because I'd just thrash everyone. So there's not much point. That's why I like these experiments, just to see what happens. See what happens, like how the computer controls them. Anyway, please leave a like, guys. That would be much appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I shall see you in a new Football Manager experiment very shortly, hopefully.